Hi, I'm Irrelevant, and this is Irrelevant Topics. Today I want to talk about being careful not to go too far to the other side and being driven insane by the SJWs. I'm noticing a lot of people who were politically left-leaning are turning right or more conservative as a reaction of the madness of the SJWs. As if once they realize these people are mental, they want to have as little in common with them as possible. With this, I'm not saying or implying that there's anything necessarily wrong with being a conservative. I'm a centrist myself. What I'm actually saying is that we should be mindful with how reactionary we're being. For example, in my opinion, a big part of the reason Donald Trump won was because a lot of people in the US were being reactionary. Mind you, I don't have as big of a problem with Trump as the mainstream media would like me to. But a lot of my friends do react negatively to the mainstream media's portrayal of Trump, like they want us to. However, I really believe that biggest reason so many people voted for him was because a lot of people liked what he was saying with regards to political correctness, and a lot of people in the US are really tired of not being able to speak, and on top of that being the target of many unwarranted accusations. The fact that now it is okay to make jokes on national television about white people and men, but making jokes of any other race and gender is a big no-no. I believe the hypocrisy and double standard is making a lot of people very angry, and rightfully so. I'm not a white person. I've been at the receiving end of a significant amount of very racist and generally nasty comments from some objectionable white people. It is one thing when you're joking with friends and everyone knows it's a joke, and another when someone is mocking you or trying to hurt you. Mockery and joking are not the same thing. However, I firmly believe in free speech, including what the SJWs call hate speech, because hate speech is a slippery slope, preventing people from saying certain things just because some people might be mean to you will not end well. Anyway, a joke is a joke, and what is not okay is for racist and sexist jokes to be okay for certain races and gender, and not okay for others. That is racist and sexist. If you're an adult, you're not going to die or anything is really going to happen to you because you heard a joke about a black woman. It's a joke, and any mature person would understand that. And I love jokes about stereotypes. I love racist jokes and sexist jokes. I've got a very dark sense of humor, and as long as it's just that, a joke, I find them really funny, at least for my sense of humor. If you don't find them funny, that's fine, but people shouldn't go around telling other people that they can't joke about certain things just because they don't find them funny or find them offensive. I mean, that's kind of the point. It's an offensive joke. If it's okay to joke about white people on national television, it is okay to joke about non-whites on national television. The same goes for men and women. But yeah, the hypocrisy of how you can make very nasty racist jokes about white people and how men are shite and women are the absolute best on national television. But then if you flip it, and you've got a massive problem in both mainstream and social media, to the point that you might need to profusely apologize to keep your career, because a lot of people got triggered. Oh, I'm sorry. But if you're a white man, you're not allowed to be offended or triggered because you're quote unquote privileged or in power or whatever they want to say. One of my core values is fairness, and that is not fair. That is, in fact, that is as unfair as it gets, which is my main problem with SJWism. It's not about equality. If it was, I would be the first SJW or whatever. But it's not about equality. It's not really about equality. It's about flipping the power structure. I believe that it is a part of the reason why Donald Trump got elected. I think white people are tired of being vilified and voted in a reactionary manner. And I wonder, what were the Democrats expecting when they have been enabling the vilifying of more than 60% of its population. Anyway, I should clarify that if I could vote in the US, and generally my only two choices were Trump and Clinton. There were more, but for the sake of the example, let's say that it was only the two of them, although I understand that they were the only ones with a realistic chance of winning. But anyway, if my only two choices were Clinton and Trump, I would have voted for Trump. But that's a topic for another day. I also want to emphasize that this isn't really about left versus right. This is about the sane versus the insane. I really dislike the frame of left versus right, because I think it is highly inaccurate. The SAW kind, in the best case scenario, are very misguided people, like very, very misguided. And in the worst case scenario are clinically insane, which I think is the most common case for a big part of them. They're clinically insane. I'm not a clinician, I'm not a psychiatrist, I can't diagnose them, I don't know, but me as a person seeing it from the outside, these people are fucking insane. And the main reason for that is that you can't reason with them. There's no reasoning. That's not possible. And anyone who you can't reason with is fucking insane, or a child, or in this case probably both, like very mature insane people. I'm going to use one of their favorite comparison, but it's like the Nazis. Would you say they were left or right, the Nazis? And I will tell you, they were neither. They were simply fucking insane. They were fucking insane, like genuinely insane. In fact, insane beyond imagining, at least for me. In any way that you understand the word insane, they were that, and more. So that framing of left versus right, please, we're past that already. This is about the sane versus the insane. That is precisely why you see a lot of people who have got very different opinions banding together against the insane. People who otherwise you would have never seen together, like Ben Shapiro and Milo Yiannopoulos. These two couldn't possibly be more different from each other, and yet here they are banding together, because again, this isn't about right versus left. This is about the sane versus the insane. And sure, Milo has got some sort of weird blend of conservatism, but we've also seen Christina Hoff Sommers, a self-described feminist, and a proper one I should say, sitting next to a very conservative, pro-gun Steven Crowder, arguing against these people. Again, because this isn't about right versus left, it's about the insane versus insane. And because of this, I worry that the insane people might drive the sane people insane. I hope that makes sense. We should be mindful of when we're being reactionary. I genuinely believe and hope that we can fight this as rational people. I don't remember where it was that I heard this, but I do remember Jordan Peterson saying, and I'm paraphrasing, that when sane people go against insane people win every time, because they're willing to do absolutely anything. Basically, there are no rules for them. I believe generally he's right. However, in this case, I still believe that the sane are the majority. The insane are very vocal and very outrageous small minority. I believe we still have got time to overcome these people. I believe we need to confront them more and more, obviously in a rational and civilized manner, with arguments, with logic, which they lack, because it isn't them that we need to convince. They're insane, there's no reasoning there. Who we need to convince is everyone else. And sure, everyone else will realize these people are insane as soon as they see them, but I feel that once that happens, it would probably be too late. The big problem we've got is that mainstream media really isn't helping. In fact, they're majorly responsible for all this madness, and they're making things worse. I stopped watching and reading the news about 15 years ago, And it was precisely because I noticed that they were not bringing anything constructive into my life. Even the people who are into mainstream, like for example, I sometimes watch some of Tim Pool's videos covering the SJW madness, and he does have a proclivity towards outrage news. I don't necessarily think there's any that intent behind it, but I don't think the way he's reporting his news is helping. Every time I watch one of his videos, I notice myself feeling compelled to do something about it, but not in a nice manner, but in a reactionary one. I get upset. Anyway, in conclusion, please forget about the left versus right dichotomy. We're past that already. This is about the sane versus insane, and it's been like that for quite a while. Please be mindful not to be driven insane in the opposite direction from the SJWs. I genuinely believe they're converting more people into neo-Nazism and similar movements than the neo-Nazis themselves. Well, if I've said anything inaccurate, please let me know. If you agree or disagree, also let me know. I definitely think I will be doing more of this, so if you liked it, please help me by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. And if you can share it, even better. I'm Irrelevant. Until next time, cheers.